Yo guys, what's up? It's me, Pirate Legend Steve, and today we're gonna be doing a sword guide. I know, very highly anticipated. So the sword is a weapon in Sea of Thieves, and you can use the sword in many different situations. It is the most versatile weapon, and it is very good at dealing with those pesky double gunners, because they have two guns, so you can't use your blunderbuss to shoot them from afar, because they tend to have rifles. And it's a bit annoying when you're trying to shoot them on the end of the boat, and they have a sniper. So I'm going to conduct you through a few little tests here, and a few little tips. This is going to be top 10 tips for people who use swords. So, pretty simply, let's start us off with sword skins. So, there are two sword skins in the game that are any good. Ignore all the other ones. You either have to use the chef's cutlass, the party boat cutlass, or... Hold on, give me a second, I gotta go purchase it real quick. Ruining the guide, I forgot to purchase it beforehand, but you know what, you guys are gonna have to deal with this too. So, basically, you wanna spend money to get your ancient coins, and then you're gonna wanna go to, I believe, pirate. And you're gonna and you go back here and you buy the Infinite Death's Cutlass. It's about like $3, basically. Pretty cheap, you know, absolute steel string that it is the best sword in the entire game. So you want to use either the spatula or the Infinite Death Sword, and if you don't have any of those, just go for the cutlass, the party boat cutlass. Because the Infinite Death's Cutlass is actually the best, because it is known as the Halo Sword, and it has many hidden benefits, such as being cool, and being the bane of double gunners everywhere. Yeah, so let's get on to the actual sword stuff here. So now that you have your skin for only like $3, let's get to the test. So here's a quick guide if you want to know how to use the sword. This is tip number 9. So basically, if you look at your keyboard, and if you're on controller, you don't need this. You already know what you're doing because you're an expert if you're on controller. If you're on keyboard, look down at your keyboard and find the W key. Rest your ring finger on the W key. Your pinky needs to go on the A key, which is below it and to the left. Then, you're going to find the D key with your middle finger. This may be very uncomfortable, and you may not be able to touch the sprint button. But don't worry, you won't be sprinting around in combat anyway. Put pressure down on your ring finger and you'll begin moving forward. Use your mouse to turn you around by moving left and right. You're then going to want to find the left click, which is the one you normally use, and not the one you use for functions. And you're going to want to just spam that as fast as possible. Congratulations, you've reached step 1 of learning how to become the best swordsman in the entire world. This is the Swordsman Guide, and I've already done most of the work for you. So as you can see right now, you are a walking bomb, basically. Anyone who gets near you just blows up instantly. You're too powerful. So, this is really good at dealing with double gunners. But if you want to add a little bit of pizzazz in it and want to become better, and I realize I said pizzazz instead of pizzazz, but who cares, you can even get your thumb and rest on the space bar. The space bar is either marked by the word space, which is S, the squirrely one, P, got like an O inside of it, you know what that is, like a circle, and then an A, which is like a circle, but has like a line on the right side. And then you can probably fill in the word from then. It's got a little squiggly C, and then an E, which is like a little curved line that's kind of like a flipped on its side. So once you find that, it can also be marked by a line. You're going to want to press that, and that'll let you jump. And if you know how to press the jump button, it'll be harder for those pesky double gunners to hit you. Okay, so let's get on to step number 7 here, I believe, because I taught you movement, and I taught you how to become better at swordsmanship. So, here's another tip. If you are in a combat, and the double gunner's hiding behind the table there, move back and forth like this behind the mast. Basically, you just need to hope that they're a bit inebriated and have a slow reaction time, and if they miss, you're then going to want to hold down right click, the one that you don't normally use, and then hold down left click, the one you normally use, and then walk forwards and jump at the right time. If you want to know what the right time is to jump, simply go onto the dock here and just practice a bit. Aim down, and whenever you hear the sound of you hitting wood, jump, and it'll send you flying. This works really well on the boat. But if you want to get into advanced swordsmanship, learn how to do it without hitting the ground, and instead just learn it based off of muscle memory. And even if you're hitting it on the floor, wait a second before jumping, and you will be able to do some beautiful stuff. Like, look how far I just went there, and anyone in your path there, except like the very end of the path, will take a lot of damage. And even if like they're not even near your path, they'll still take critical damage. Okay, so now that I've told you how to use the sword by, sword lunging the people behind the map table, because you can totally hit them past that, here's a quick tip. If you manage to hit somebody with your sword, make sure that you instantly follow it out by spamming left click as much as possible. And left click is the one that you normally use. So like, you charge it up, you wait, you jump, try not to follow the boat, and you just gotta spam left click and they should die. Okay, congratulations, you made it through basic sword training. You should now be one of the top 10% of swordsmen if you know how to replicate this. Okay, so the next step, what weapon should you use with your sword? Because the sword may be extremely powerful, but those pesky double gunners have 2 guns, and you can't beat them with just 1 sword, you need something else. I'd recommend that instead of using any skill-based weapons like the flintlock or eye of reach, you should use the blunderbuss, because no matter how bad you are, you'll be able to combo it with the sword very nicely. I recommend the Nightshade Parrot blunderbuss, because you cannot see when you aim down sights. This is to discourage you from aiming down sights too much. Because little known fact, if you are trying to use your blunderbuss against a pesky double gunner or even a fellow swordsman, first of all, don't pull out your sword and duel them like a non-coward. But if you're fighting against a pesky double gunner, you're gonna have to, if they're downstairs for instance, you gotta aim down sights and slowly walk down. And whenever you see them, stop aiming down sights, wait for your gun to settle at your side, and then shoot. And that'll increase your damage, because it'll shoot 11 projectiles if you aim down sights, stop, and then shoot like that. And that's enough to one-shot them, if you're close enough. And sometimes you can even one-shot them from all the way back here, so just always try. Even if they're across the entire boat, all the way back there, just aim down sights, stop aiming, and then shoot. And, about for half the time they'll die. And if they don't, you can turn on your funny in-game mic and just accuse hitrig. And you can also say a few slurs if you're up to it. Okay, so if you want to use any other guns, first of all, don't. Blunderbuss is just the best weapon with the sword. I'd recommend you use the Soul Flame pistol. So, if you're using this, the pistol is best used to combo with your sword. So you're gonna want to learn how to quick swap. Essentially what quick swapping is you're going to hit them twice with your sword, and you're going to pull out your gun. So press 2 or use scroll wheel once. And if you're on Xbox, again, you don't need this guide, you're already experts at this stuff. Even I'm not on the level of Xbox players. So you're then going to want to scroll wheel, sprint, stop sprinting, aim down sights, and shoot. You can combo this with the sword especially well, because all it takes is 2 cutlass swipes and then a shot with a pistol, and that double gunner will be dead before they can even pull out their guns. And it's that easy. You can also sword lunge people, and then pull out your pistol and shoot. Okay, and if you are using the pistol a lot, remember, always aim down sights with the pistol, especially if you're using the Ghost Flintlock because it has really good sights. So Soul Flame, sorry. Even the Ghost pistol, I'd also recommend Ghost. It's a really good pistol because it has really good sights. You see the sight, and then this. So you're always going to aim down sights, and whenever you shoot, you're going to want to press your holster button twice, which will help you reload a bit faster. So you see, like that. And then if you get good at doing that, and you can like track your enemies. You can like do that, you know? And just remember that you always have your sword, and if you miss a shot with the pistol, you don't have to try to reload, ever. You can just, like, discharge them with your sword and spam, because it's so good at doing that. And, here's another tip. If you're using the sniper, first of all, don't use the blunderbuss. But I'd personally recommend the Soul Flame Eye of Reach again, because it has a lot of particle effects, which can sometimes scare away your opponent from sword lunging you. Or if they're double gunner, it makes you harder to see, because double gunners, they can't see the color green, they only see red. So basically, if you're using the Soul Flame gun here, you're gonna wanna not aim down sights. It's a little known fact, but if you no-scope your enemy, like, ignore where the actual shot is going, it actually goes straight to the center of your screen, no matter where the pistol or, like, the bullet looks like it's going. And if you can hit them with this no-scope, and the bullet's, like, invisible, it just, like, a fake bullet goes out to either side, but the actual, like, hitbox of the bullet goes straight forward. And if you can no-scope them with it, and using the same holster thing to reload faster, they will be one-shot. There's a hidden thing in this game where you can, one-shot people. And if I have a clip of me pulling this off on a skeleton, I'll flash that up right now. Missed. Oh, I actually hit it! I actually hit it! And if I don't, then you wouldn't have seen it. But if you saw that, you'll see how good it is, because you barely even have to aim, because it has such a big, like, hitbox, the bullet. So just as long as you're, like, near them, it should count. And if it doesn't, it's probably the fault of hit rig. You don't get hit markers when you no-scope for some reason, and if you do, it doesn't actually do any damage most of the time. It's only versus, like, PvE, but, like, the invisible bullet should do damage, and if it doesn't, it's hit rig. Okay, so now that you know how to use that like a pro, let's get on to final 3 tips, because I think that was enough for me to warrant taking away a few tips. So you're gonna wanna learn how to do this. If you are tucking with the, like, sword and you want to get on somebody's boat and, like, climb up into their crow's nest to tuck, here's a quick tip. Imagine I'm, like, crawling up to this boat that's at For the Damned. I get up on the ladder. First of all, silent boarding doesn't work anymore, so you can't, like, you know, do that in silent board. The second that you get up, you're gonna want to, like, it's a bit precise. Move forward and to the left. Hold down the right and jump, and it should launch you. And you can use your interact button, which is normally F if you're on default, or E if you're not. So again, you board them. Don't even have to silent board because it doesn't work anymore. You go up the ladder, you like right click, which is one used for functions and not the one that you normally use. Then you're going to want to move forward and to the left, or W and the A key. And then you want to press both those and hold them down for a second and jump. And it should launch you over the railing and then interact with the ladder and climb up. Most people are incapable of hearing the sword unholster sound, so like the second that you save basically costs you nothing. Because instead of having to like jump up and like, you know, do this, you can jump up. Oh, I messed it up, I sprinted. You can jump up and you can do this. And it's much faster, and people don't tend to notice it that much. And now let's get on to the number 1 tip. This tip here is what's going to save you in like 100% of situations, and this is called the secret sword lunge, a technique perfected by the sword artists and absolute chads such as Fuzzy Bond. So basically, you want to go below deck, charge up your sword lunge, and when right before it's about to pop, I'm not nearly that good at this because I'm not Fuzzy Bond. Right as it's about to pop, you go up above and you sword lunge. If they don't see you charging it, you'll be able to hit them, and then you can like blunderbuss them or continue sorting them if you really want to. I'd advise continue sorting them because sometimes the blunderbuss doesn't do damage, like I said. So, This game's a bit buggy, so, like, if you die and you're using these techniques, you have the right to say slurs and call hit rig and just generally abuse your opponent. As you can tell, I am Pirate Legend Steve, so I do know all. So, I'll give you a bonus tip here, just to give you a bit of my immense knowledge. If somebody is gonna board you, you can charge up your sword lunge and just, like, dash there. Or if you're, like, really good, you can, hold on, let me get it. If you're really good, you can go like this, and, like, knock them off the ladder the second that they get on. And if you hear the boarding noise and you're ready, you can charge up, and by the time that they reach the front ladder, you can, sword lunge them. And then you can double-click on the ladder here in order to just constantly sword lunge into them. And this will give them a very narrow time. And of course, if they're gonna board, and you, like, miss your blunder shot on them because they, like, baited you out or something. Oh, I didn't use my blunderbuss properly, sorry about that. If they're on the ladder and you, like, somehow don't one-blunder them, just sit here and just, like, set up a macro that'll just spam click, and you can just sit here, and there's literally nothing they can do about it. Like, how are they going to get you if you're just, like, constantly spamming or something? It's literally impossible. So, yeah, that's everything you need to go from me, fellow sword user, and your only friend in your time of need, Pirate Legend Steve. Thanks for watching, guys. Go ruin some nasty double gunners, and remember, never learn how to double gun. It'll ruin your skill with the sword. Double gunning is a crutch tool, and you should never, under any circumstances, do it. Have a good day, guys, and remember to employ all of these techniques. I'd also advise that you steal your mother's wallet and their credit card, just so you can buy the best sword in the game. Have a good day, guys. Pirate Legend Steve, out.